Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible day today. I'm definitely enjoying the weather is getting so much nicer. So a lot more sunshine, a lot more warmth. So it's very nice. Let me quickly pop on. I am streaming this to YouTube today as well, but I am paying attention to the comments in the Facebook group. So if you are wanting to comment any questions, um, say live, say hello. If you're here with me, you're catching the replay, say replay so that I celebrate and enjoy you. Comments. So this class today is about aligning your business with your values and self-love in order to be more sustainable. So if you have any questions, if you want to share your values, I mean that's awesome too. If you want to be able to connect that way to share the comments. I am checking to see if I am live on my group. Okay, perfect. I see myself there. All right, so we are good to go. If you want to share your values, like I said, that would be awesome. It's very interesting to see the values that everybody has. Pull up my screen. Perfect. Okay. So now it's about aligning your business through your values and self-love. So I am Fiona. I am a self-love coach. I teach self-love as an actionable skill, and I have been sharing a lot for business because I love business. One of my favorite parts about business is the fact that in order to be sustainable and successful in the long term, 90% of it is us, especially when we first start doing our business or we're in that first year, that first learning area where we're kind of test the water, see what strategies work and what does not work. And I know I've gone through investing in different programs. I've gone through one program that didn't work with me because it did not align to my values, what I was interested in. So we kind of have a lot of that. And very often, so busy chasing the strategies that work for somebody else, we're going after those shiny objects. Like, oh, this person said that you can get 10,000 followers on Instagram in a month. You're going to go and try to copy that person. Or someone else like make your YouTube videos or your TikTok videos go live and viral, very viral, and be able to have success. Other people are like, hey, it's all about your Facebook groups, it's all about your DMs, it's all about doing challenges, classes, and summits, and everything else in between, and building email lists or building it on social media. So there's a lot of different strategies, and a lot of those are very successful, right? Like I know somebody who has a successful business doing each and every one of these, and I've been in programs where they each and every single one of these people have taught how they do it. But if that strategy does not align with you, and you're just copying and pasting, and you're just trying to throw spaghetti against the wall, it's not going to work. It's not you. So you have to find out who you are, what aligns with you, what really drives you, and what passions you have. And that's where you're going to get a lot of your business. But unfortunately, a lot of people are just chasing one strategy after the other, and they're not stopping and they're not saying, who am I? What do I want to accomplish? And what am I doing? Hey, Melissa, on my sound. Sorry, Pat. Um, thank you for letting me know that the sound is going in and out. So hopefully this works a little bit better. Let me know if it is. I think I'm not too sure what's going on with that, so we'll see. My son is here. I think also you can't really see us because we're in that screen. All right. So for the values again, and a lot of times when we're trying to connect with people, and I know that's what Emmerich, sweetheart, don't, sorry guys, Emmerich, don't trip over your iPad. So a lot of times, again, there are different strategies. Some people are like, message a whole bunch of people, connect with a bunch of people, and you'll be able to the more people you connect with, the more chances you have. Like, say, for example, if you connect with 100 people, then you might have 50 people talking to you. You might have 20 people, and then numbers kind of dwindle down. So then you're finding less people that want to have a phone call, be interested in products and services that you are purchasing and selling. So very often we end up being stuck in that situation. We're talking to a lot of people, trying to filter down. But if you align what you're talking about and the people you're connecting with, the values that you already have, and things that you share, like think about your best friends. Think about when you were kids, what you connected with people. I remember, like, when you're talking to your friends, like Emmerich, what do you like about I put my son on the spot with his friend Brody. What do you like about Brody? What do you and Brody how do you guys get along? What do you guys like? Him him and Brody, his friend, who's a girl, they like to play games together. So again, as kids, you find something in common and you connect together. And a lot of times, as you get more comfortable, you get to know each other, you play more often, you share, and you grow up. So I know one of my friends, we connected because we both had, I had Emmerich, and her daughter was a year younger than him. So she came, started working at the store, and hi, Rachel. And when she was working at the store with us, we had a Christmas party. She brought her daughter, and Emma was there, and they got along. So then we started to kind of spend time together so that our kids can spend time together. And I got an opportunity to really know her, and she's an amazing, incredible person. And I realized a lot of our values lined up. Not all of them, but that's okay. You don't have to line up everything, but what I value is a lot of what she valued as well. So it made it very easy to build that connection. So we have to take that same connection within our businesses. So if you're wanting to connect with people, whether you're in network marketing and you're selling products or you're coaching for services, you're doing e-commerce, website, graphic design, whatever it is that you're doing for your business, you have to be part of it. Like if you want it to be sustainable. So for me, I'm a very transparent person because I always believe that there's something to learn from mistakes from others or yourself or what their stories are. Yeah, so that's true. So I like if someone asks me a question, I'm going to be very honest about it. And if I made a mistake, if I messed up, then I'm going to admit that as well because I believe in transparency. I believe in it's okay being vulnerable because someone can learn from that mistake. I also believe strongly in leading by example, and I hold myself to the same expectations of my team. So we're not all going through my son just keeps agreeing with me. So you must know my values because it's the way I lead my life. It's the values. So, one of the rules is you can't go through the back door, right, for the business. So I walk around to the front because that's the rules I hold my staff accountable to. So I will do the same thing. Same thing, like I'm not going to miss time at work. I'm not going to or not do what I'm supposed to do because I believe in leading by example. I also value efficiency, communication, leadership, abundance, empowerment, compassion, creativity, holistic wellness, and influence. So a lot of these values are what I love and I connect with people. I have a little bit of a rebellious streak too. I can be rebellious, so people have those rebellious posts. I really like those. You normally comment on them, but these are a lot of what I value. So it's easier for me to connect and find someone that has the same values, and it's easy to build a team with these values. It's easy to build a more sustainable team, a more sustainable business if your business has the same values that you have. You already resonate with them. You already feel like in your core that this is what you're supposed to do. And you're aligned with it. So by having that alignment, your business is easier. You have more clarity, you have more confidence, and you have more passion and drive and more energy because you're not fighting against something that you're not interested in. And I mean, for some of the people that have been connecting with me, like I know there's some people that have been in my group now for 2.5 years. There's some people that I've known for 5 to 10 years. I mean, I'm sure you could probably see some of these values in yourself or what you are interested in. What values do you believe in? Could be yours. Don't have to look at mine. But a lot of his values would probably be very similar to mine because if he sees me doing them on a regular basis, then he'll more likely to do the same thing. I'm sure creativity is yours, right? You love creating artwork and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, lots of stuff. Okay. All right. So, Maya Angelou, I've learned that making a living is not the same as making a life. And very often we get stuck in that routine of making a living and we are not living the life we want. We're not doing the stuff we want to do. We're not having purpose. Even when we are like, we want to create our own business. Mhm. Even when we're creating our own business and we're like, I want the financial freedom, I want to be able to be my own boss, I want to be able to be and do whatever I want to do, we get stuck in a routine very quick and very easily of just doing and hustling. And as I mentioned before, chasing after strategies. So by making a life for ourselves, you do that by aligning to your values. So, what you will learn today is the importance of using your values in your business, ways of incorporating your values and self love into your business, common mistakes people make related to their business and not using self love, and some actions you can take to use your values and self-love in business. And I go through very surface level with a lot of this stuff. Self-love is very personal. What you do really well in, what your strengths are, what you may be struggling with is going to be different than somebody else. How you use resilience, how you use compassion, how you use decision making and creativity and
Yeah.
accepting yourself and self respect and esteem, it's all going to be different because you have different values. And that is a lot of self love is the values that we hold and what gives us energy and what aligns to us. So this is very surface level for a lot of this, but there's a lot more depth details that we can go through related to it, and you can find something that really resonates with you. And this is only part of what we're talking about, not the entire thing. So the importance of values and self-love in business is really personal. When you first start a business, you are your business. You you are everything that is happening. You are every part of it, whether it's network marketing and you join the team and you're upline or you're creating a team, cross team, downline, whatever the case is, you are your business. Same thing if you have coaching, if you have course creating, if you're consulting, e-commerce, it doesn't matter what type of business you are. When you first start, your personal value is a big part of that business, and that's how you attract people to you. So your brand identity, you are your brand. You have to share who you are, share your values, share the different parts of you that people can resonate and connect with. Then they will remember you. The goal for your business is you want to be in the mind share of people. So, for example, if I were to ask you what coffee you like, you could probably name your favorite brand off the top of your head. Burgers, clothing, computers, gaming systems, like all those different things. Books, right? Like genre books you are interested in. You probably at the top of your head. You probably say your favorite author. So that has become a brand for most of those people, especially if it's more personal for the brand. And we have to, and I love that. Sorry, yes, I'm right. I'm teaching class right now. No, I can't cut the video. Sorry, it's live. All right. So resilience and facing setbacks. If you are aligned, your business is aligned to you, and you can build the resilience through your self love, that will allow you to understand that obstacles and challenges come, and setbacks come up, and you have the ability to learn and you're able to get back a lot quicker. If your business does not align with your values, CHOST. If your values do not align to you, then it's going to be a lot harder to be more resilient. It's going to be a lot harder to pivot when you need to for your business and change direction, change whatever you need to do to be more successful and be an authentic and a better leadership. If you are honest and true about who you are, you're going to be able to connect with people a lot better. I mean, I'm sure we all have those people that come into our DMs that you know they're scammers, you know that they're fake accounts. I mean, I can't even count how many um, fake accounts are messaging and commenting on my stuff, or they're DMing me, or they're pretending to be people that are not really pretending. So when you start asking them questions, they can't answer, they can't keep up, and then they start making up a lot of different things because they're not being authentic. And same thing, if we're not being true to ourselves and we're trying to not come across as salesy or whatever the situation is because we're not having those real connections, then we're not being authentic as well. So a lot of times, again, if you want to connect with people, connecting with values, connecting with something in common, being able to help support them, that will make the transactions a lot better and build that trust. People like to buy stuff. They don't like being sold, but they also like buying stuff from people they know, right? So if they trust you and they know and they can see that you're going to support them and that you understand where they're coming from, they're more likely going to buy from you than a random person who they can sense wasn't being honest with them. So it's very important to be honest when you're talking to people, and that also leads to better leadership if you can go with your values. So if your values is communication and transparency and honesty, and you lead that in your leadership, then you're going to do a lot better job. And whether you lead yourself if you're by yourself at the moment, or you have a team that you're building and supporting, or you've got even if you have virtual assistants or video editors or different people who are not necessarily in the same room with you or same building, but they're still working with you. Like I have someone from the Philippines right now that works with me, so it's important to make sure we have that communication, that connection you and your team share the same value, you have a better job of being able to connect. You have a better ability to motivate them because it's easier to motivate yourself and know what motivates you to be able to do that to your team. And their overall well-being is better. So you guys can connect and have that rapport, have that good workplace culture. That would really help with their making them feel better, making them feel valued because you have someone that can understand where they're coming from. Again, they don't have to have every single value the same as you, but if you've got some that are related, and then once you create that value in your workplace or group, some people have their some of it's online when you get it, a lot of it if your team is somewhere else. And I've got a team that a lot of them in Ontario. I'm obviously not in Ontario, so it makes it a little bit harder, but there's still that workplace, there's still that culture, and that's still that create energy that's created, even though we're not, it's online. And greater commitment and long-term tenure. So if you have team players and team members that have same values, you give them a mission, they have the same goals and objectives, then they're more likely going to see your vision and go a lot more than you are. So when you're busy like making sure everything's working, they're just seeing the vision and they're just going for it. And they have a tendency to stay for a lot longer. They're not going to quit. They're not going to chase the next shiny object uh, or say, okay, well, I've done this job for a while, I'm going to switch to something else because you've given them a family and connection for them. So within the business itself, brand identity. We have the personal brands. So a lot of times we want to share the personal brands more often than we do the brand for the business. But a lot of times the business takes on its own identity and like Nike, Starbucks, and Martin, even some coaches, Tony Robbins. I mean, everybody knows him. Our our Harbecker, like a lot of these names, a lot of these coaches have been around for a lot longer. A lot of fitness, like Julian, sorry, I can't remember her name at the moment. Someone can correct me, but there's like a lot of fitness coaches that are very popular that you see them very often. They do a lot of workouts, CBDs, etc. So a lot of them it's their personal branding, but then they become their company, and that becomes part of the brand, and their brand ends up having their own values. So as the team grows, the values kind of get mixed together, right? So your values for your business evolve, and as you grow and you change and become different people, and as you learn, your values are going to change as well. So values and using self-love is going to help with sustainable growth for your success. You're going to be able to continue, so you're not chasing after the next shiny object. You found a strategy that works for you, one that really makes you feel good, and one that allows you to have that energy. You're not draining, you're not fighting anything. It really feels the way it should feel to you. You're going to be able to sustain that for a lot longer. You're going to be able to build a team that's related to that and have similar values. And then you guys all work together for that mission or vision that you have for the business to go forward. And customer loyalty and trust. And if you're more authentic and you have that leadership and they know what values and you align or they align to the values that you have, you're going to have a deeper connection. So you're more likely going to have those customers that are going to buy from you every time that you have something. They're going to continue purchasing, or they're going to trust you and they're going to come to you and ask some questions. So I've had some clients now, customers that I've had them for over 2.5 years. I've probably even like 3.5 years, and they still come to me asking me questions because they still have the trust and that loyalty that before, and they still buy their products from me. So it's that connection that you have, that trust, and then they're more likely to refer to other people, share with their family and friends, and say, "Hey, I know someone and this is how it is," because again, you have that connection that you've worked together for. Some ways to use values and self-love. So I put them by the ways that are a little bit easier to work on. So marketing with authenticity. Again, this is really important for network marketers. It's really important for coaches. It's really important for course creators, service consultants, all of those things. You want to make sure that you are being authentic in your marketing. Again, you don't want to copy and paste from somebody else. So if a post works really well for somebody, then you can learn from it. You might be able to tweak it, make it yourself. But if you just copy and paste and turn it into yours, and it doesn't go what you normally talk about or the way you are or the way people look for that see what type of person you are and what values you have for yourself. So if you're an action taker and go-getter, then you're going to want people to see that as well, especially people that want to do that. So you've got some people that are very fast, and if they learn quick, they love to be fast, they love to be moving. You got some people that like to take their time, they like to go through it, read, kind of be able to read yourself quite a few times, maybe watch some videos, a couple of times, and that's different groups of people, and there's nothing wrong with either group, but it's very cool to have them both together, to be able to work together with them. So you want to make sure that you can support both different ones, but if you're someone that you're like, "Hey, I'm more of a go-getter, I can't, need someone that has that action pace," if you have that in your marketing, then you're gonna attract people like that because they do come from like-minded groups, and it'll be a lot easier for you to work with those people. But if you're someone who takes your time making decisions, or like you like going through and viewing stuff, and if you have someone that comes in that's more of a go-getter, then it's gonna have a bit more of that struggle to be able to connect between the two people. For your sales call, closing with confidence, if you are, especially if your values align with the business, then you're more confident and you know that you can help support people. You know that, and you don't want to take on clients that don't match your values because then you're going to struggle and it's going to be a lot harder to connect. It's going to be a lot harder for the action and that transaction for the entire time that you're dealing with them. I've gone through that as well. I've had some people that I tried connecting with them and I kind of was like, convince them to do it, whatever the case is, really bad, but it was not a good experience and it didn't work well with the transactions trying to reach out to them. So you want to make sure that you are picky and choosing people that really match your values and the way that you are as a person and the way you like to do things because it's easier to connect with those people. And there's a lot of people out there to be able to help support them that you don't need to take everybody. You can say, this is what I want to do. And the second you have that clarity and the second you know that you're like, you're not going to work with me. We're not going to work very well. I know I've had a couple people in instance where I've even said to them, I'm like, I don't think, before even getting on a call, I told them that I would offer them a call because I can tell that we were aligned. Like, we just did not have the same mindset. We didn't have the same values. So I knew for a fact it wouldn't work, right? So you're okay to not do that. And that helps build your confidence. And the more you're able to feel connected to people, the easier it is for the calls and the more you're able to support them. So sales calls, we call it sales calls, but it's about learning what support and what problems that you can help solve. Right? So you're serving somebody. It's not from, hey, I'm going to sell. So sales calls are really bad name for it, but it's not based on like, oh, I'm going to sell you something. Is what can I do? Are we a good fit? Is there a way that I can support you? And that's the biggest key to be able to do it. Is you want to see they need to see if they can align with you, and you need to see if you can align with them. Active listening skills. When you're using your values and you're connecting together with self love, then you have the ability to listen a lot better. You're using compassion, especially with team building. So I have had a staff member that was taking a lot of breaks. So instead of being very judgy and be like, hey, you're not supposed to be on breaks right now, I'm like, what can we do to help support you? Like, what can we put in place? So we came up with the idea of using alarms. So instead of writing them up, instead of them getting in trouble, we're just like, what's the best option that we can do for her? And they're like, well, I wasn't aware it was happening. So they're going to use an alarm for going forward to make sure that they don't go over on their time. But having the listening skills to be able to have that connection, that communication with the self compassion or compassion, it's easier to understand where that person is coming from instead of getting mad at them and really just kind of finding out why the situation is and if you need to dig a little bit deeper because sometimes a lot of people's personal issues unfortunately do come into the workplace and what they're struggling with is trying to see that and to take out of it. It's very important to make sure that we acknowledge and work with them instead of making them feel like they're not valued and wanting to quit instead. So customer engagement, we can use our values again. If you connect with someone and you use your values and you find something you have in common with them, something that you really like, then you have that better engagement. You'll be able to communicate better with them. You'll be able to have better comments back and forth on social media. And you have that like as a friend as if you've known them for a very long time. So there's some people who just really connect and like they know you right away, they understand you. So allowing those values to come through really helps with doing that. Revisiting your mission and vision statement. So if you build your business and again, everyone's why and everyone's vision can change as you grow and evolve and you learn and get more skills, your mindset up levels, whatever the situation is, then or if you build your team and you have someone else that's a bigger integration into your team, that's a bigger part of it, then you might find that some of these missions and visions can change. So it's very good to revisit and revise them and really think of what you want for your business, what impact you want, what culture you're interested in, and it's very important to make sure, again, what values you have and what you want for your products and service development. Again, depending on what products you offer, what services you offer, if you're doing something that's not relevant to what you feel good about, like I love holistic um, wellness and I love everything related to that. So knowing the natural doing, taking care of your body, doing the movements, the nutritions and everything like that. So those would be valuable to me. So I would have products and services that relate to that. So it's easy for me to sell that. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I would love to. I'm not great at it. Um, so me selling makeup, for example, is probably not going to be the greatest because I'm not wearing any. So that would be a lot harder for me to sell, right? So to be mindful of what really moves you, what you're interested in, as well as the products you create to make sure that they are with the values that you have. So a lot of mine, I will talk about leadership, and a lot of my values come into my programs. And a lot of my values are very similar, tied to self-love, which is one of the reasons why I like it, and I do share it very often. Creating a workplace culture. This is one that I really focused on in retail business in the last, I feel like the last 6 months or so, because I started to take what I learned for self-love and incorporate it into my business. And I never used to. I used to keep them separate. And again, I wasn't aligning my values with the business and the way it worked, the way that I was building a team. And I had people that would come in and they'd only work for a couple of months. They'd miss a lot of time. They weren't part of the group. They weren't connecting with the team. And it was a lot of frustration, a lot of struggle. And I had some people that they didn't have the best attitude and all that. So now I've been working as hard and as well as other people. And it was causing a lot of risks and frustration and tension. And very often the really good workers are quitting because they're tired of dealing with it, they're tired of seeing it happen. So I really, when I started to focus more on self-love and look at it as an actionable skill, I started to take my knowledge and experience in it and put it into my retail business. So now we have, and I'm very picky about the culture that I'm creating in there to make sure people feel welcome, to make sure that my values are part of that. They can tell you very transparent if they ask a question, I'll answer it. Really good about leadership, leading by example, being mindful, everything along those lines. And we do a lot of positivity, we do a lot of goal setting, we do a lot of support, coaching, communication. They can come to me and speak to me. If they have any questions and struggles that may not necessarily be work related, we talk about it because that's very important for them to feel comfortable, to be able to be happy in all areas of their life in order to support it. So I'm hoping, I haven't asked them recently, but I'm hoping they feel like it's a safe space for them to be who they are, to be able to reach to new goals, to reach to new challenges, and to feel like they're not within a group. And being able to create that place has helped because they're more motivated, we're working on productivity, and because they're not focused on the tension or the stress, they're not overwhelmed, they are focused on their work, they're not on productivity. And our sales, I mean, we've made an extra 100, almost 200,000 since this fiscal year started, just because of the change of the workplace culture, and we're putting more emphasis and work into that part of it. So, along with creating the workplace culture is being very picky about the hiring and making sure that people have values. And I've been talking to a lot of people who've been doing interviews recently, and it was interesting because I find a lot of times different conversations I have, a lot of people have the same conversation. So I've had 3 or 4 different conversations about hiring, and I've been asked to go speak to the college about hiring. And I call it college because they are like, oh, we think this is important for the college, we think this is important for hiring. Is say what type of jobs that you have available, what type of training is expected, if they was in your location or if you travel to other places. There's one other question, and it was all surface level stupid stuff. And I'm gonna say stupid stuff because it really doesn't matter what positions are available in any of the places. If someone doesn't have the right mindset, they don't have the right culture, they don't have the right values, it doesn't matter what job or what job you're hoping to get. You're not going to stay there. You're not going to be happy, or you're not going to have that great teamwork. So I've been saying that a lot of the hiring now is I related to values. I listen to what they're on social media. I do check their social media profiles as well to make sure that what they're saying on social media aligns to what we want. So we're a family friendly business. We're very friendly. We're very big in customer service. We're very big in being helpful and supportive. So I had a person who applied, and on their Facebook social media, they're talking about how bad it is for costs and all that kind of stuff. They're just like very, very like mean and rude and whatever the case is. So I'm not even attempting to do an interview with that person because they're not going to be a family friendly person, right? So a lot of what we post on social media ends up being what people see, and we want to share the values that we offer to people as well. So if you have a value you can create, like, and this, and you notice that that's the values that are related to that person. So if you're hiring people, you want to make sure that you've got the values. If you're looking to go to work somewhere or to get a promotion or whatever the case is, make sure that you know the values and the culture of that place. Because if you were to do an interview with a manager or somebody and you're like, and you know the values they have, and you talk about those values and you talk about how you can benefit, like you can help the company benefit, they'll hire you in a heartbeat because they know that you're going to be connected and work together very well. So that's one of the really incredible ways to be able to use values for businesses. And I know when I go to the college, I told them I'm going to be talking about mindset because you want someone that's going to have the right mindset walking in to get a job, not someone thinking that it's just a job and who cares and go wherever they want, whenever they want to get one. All right. So common mistakes that people make when using the values. So ignoring your values, so your business doesn't align with you. So again, if you're busy chasing every single strategy that someone else has, that someone else is doing a very good job at, and you're ignoring that turmoil that's inside of you, and you're like feeling that drain of energy, it's going to be a lot harder to show up in your business. It's going to be a lot harder to show up for people, to have that clarity, that confidence, and to have that trust and rapport and building with the authenticity because you're faking it. And I know that people say, oh, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in that. I believe you should work at being the person that you want to, but you're not faking what you are because you're taking the actions to become that person. But when you're faking it, it's when you're not being real, it's not when you're not being honest with yourself, and it's going to cause you to drain a lot of your energy. So when something comes up and something is hard, you're more likely going to give up right away, right? So if your values didn't align with the business, as soon as you have a setback and a challenge, you're going to quit. You're going to be like, I'm done. You're going to throw it in, give it all, right? As opposed to having something that aligns with your values, that really drives and really pushes you, and that really follows your why, you're going to keep going no matter how hard it is, no matter how much you just want to like give up, just say, this is not for me. Um, just leave everything hanging, whatever the case is, not care how much you invest, not the time, the energy, the money. You're just not going to care about any of it. You're just gonna be like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But when you're doing it with your values, you're going to have that resilience and you're going to be like, okay, this didn't work. I know it's not working. What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? And you'll be able to move forward with that. So overlooking the importance of workplace culture, I talked a lot about that for the waste part. And again, I can tell you the culture in my business right now is 1,000 times better than what it's been over the years. And a lot of that was me not being with my values and me kind of following the chasing just going through the moment. But then when I changed, it was like these are things that I like and these are things that I want to see and I want to encourage and empower my team. Because again, I'm big on empowerment, I'm big on communication, I'm big on efficiency and productivity. So when I started to really focus and put that into my business and create that culture, it has been a lot better. I have a couple of people here from my business, so I'm going to sure they can comment if they feel brave enough to do it, for how they feel with the culture that we have now in our team. And they know I'm very transparent with the fact that if someone's not working in the culture and it's causing issues and stress, that I will talk to that person and I will let that person go if they're not aligned and they can't change, right? So again, if some people are struggling, we have that communication, but if they're just really not working with us, then they can go somewhere else. Or what we're doing is not what they're interested in, they can go somewhere else. So not communicating clearly, communicating your values, again, it doesn't help with great building that trust, having people felt like they were being heard and understood, or being able to communicate with your team if you don't use your values. And a lot of communication, especially with active listening, a lot of times we listen with the waiting to be able to respond right away as opposed to listening to see what that person is saying. So being very careful with being able to listen and listen the right way, as well as being able to communicate and speak and just share the values or what is working or what isn't working. Not incorporating values into decision making. So this one here, like a lot of times when people make the mistakes, again, if you're making your decisions, probably should have had some more examples of this part. But if you're someone who really values natural health, for example, so like I love to use essential oils and I use them on a regular basis and I help support people to use them on a regular basis. Um, if I don't take that into mind when I'm making some of my decisions, then it's going to be a lot harder to make them align and it's going to make it more valuable. So I do use essential oils in my business because I believe in the power of them. But if I said, like, at one point I had a decision and I love essential oils, I use them for years and it's really helped me. I've learned a lot with it. But I was separating my two businesses. So I was doing essential oils on one side and my self love coaching on the other side. And I didn't incorporate them together. So I didn't do the values of efficiency, right? I wasn't being efficient because I was trying to do two businesses at once and it didn't align to me. And I really felt it didn't feel good. It made me very tired and exhausted. So then Amanda was talking to me one day. She said, "Well, why don't you put them together and have them incorporate? So some of your essential oils business, those customers can learn about self love, and the people can self love essential oils." And that made me feel a lot better because I did not make a decision based on my values. I made a decision based on other people's and what I shared with you. So it was really good to be able to put them together. Overlooking that values evolve as well as those in business. As your teams build, some of the values are going to change because those people, especially people that have more responsibilities in your business, their values are going to show up as well because they're doing a lot of their work. And as I said before, the more we learn, the more we grow, the more our values are going to change too. And my values from a couple of years ago are completely different now. As my life stages of my life changes from when I before I had kids to when I had a baby to now when I have a 6-year-old, my values have changed quite a bit as well. Right, and neglecting our self-care and personal well-being, obviously self-love, we don't regulate our energy and our productivity and our mood, then very often we're going to struggle and burn out and not be sustainable, and we're not even gonna think about our values. We're barely thinking about surviving. So we're more in that hustle mode, we're more in that chasing strategies, we're more in that overwhelm, so the challenges become harder, the decisions become harder, the creativity is not there. So it's very important to make sure that we're doing the self-care. And I would suggest like in my at my work business, I have my self-care posted on the walls, my staff, they can feel free to choose what they want to feel close to themselves. So if they need a bit of an upbeat energy boost, if they're those thoughts, if they need to kind of calm down, if they're feeling a little stressed and overwhelmed, there's those different self-care options as well. So our personal well-being is very important and the self-care that goes along with that. So actions you can take to align your business, make a new updated list with your values in mind. So if you've done this a while ago and you've recently changed, you want to get a new list for you and see what it is. My list, I shared it at the beginning of this presentation. I have it on a piece of paper in front of my computer on a regular basis. So when I'm talking to people, I'm being very aware of my values and what ones that they have that we share with similarities. When looking for new clients, make sure their values align with yours. I've had a couple of people that sent me friend requests or they talk to me and I would look at the profiles and see if they match up. And there's one person like the way what they shared, I knew didn't align with me and I didn't agree with it. So it's okay. It's fine that whoever whatever they choose, it's their choice and it's theirs validated, totally important. But it didn't match me. So I knew it didn't align. So I didn't take the time um, to do the friend request that way because I knew it wouldn't work. It might be quick, hey, how's it going? And away you go. Schedule self-care activities, schedule it throughout your day, every couple of hours. add something because it's not just about relaxing, it's not just about spa days, it's not just about grooming, but it's about regulating your emotions, your energy, testing and challenging your mind, your brain, your physical body, your nutrition, your body itself, um, your goals, your hobbies, your interests. There's so much parts of self care that you want to. You don't need to do all of them every single day, but I would definitely do as many as you can and make it very intentional to complete it. Do mindful leadership and check the culture in your workplace. So lead with compassion, lead with understanding, lead by example, and always be aware of the culture that's in. Again, it's a little bit harder when it's online, and a lot of your communications might be just an hour meeting once a week with your team, or just having quick chats, groups, connection, community. A lot of it can help minimize that. So it's a lot more challenging when you do have remote or contractors or people that don't work with you in the same building, but it is still doable, and that just makes it means that you have to be more intentional and more aware of building that culture for your people. And develop a supportive communication system. Very important to be able to communicate, but as we talked about last week with boundaries, you don't want to be, this does not mean you're available 24/7 to your team and that they can come to you for any problems. You still can have, like, hey, I'm available this time, I'm available this time, or when my door is closed, you cannot come in and have a chat. So, creating a system of what works, like whether it's texting, other communication tools, meetings, in person, whatever the case is, there's a lot of ways to communicate. Set something up in your business and stick to it, right? If you tell people that cannot text you, don't let them text you, like set up boundaries or whatever the case might be. Or you can say you get one question or three questions or whatever it is, and just answer when you're available and don't and set the expectations for them that you're not going to be available 24/7. So if they have a question, they can leave it when you get to it, you get to it. If they want to go find the answer themselves, they can go find the answer that way. And foster continuous learning and growth, not just for yourself, but for your business and for your team members as well. So you want to make sure that you are constantly learning and you're constantly growing, especially to kind of get that competitive edge because you want to be able to, like, things change all the time. Tech is always changing. I mean, AI came out, I think it was a couple of years ago when I first heard about it. It's been really big in the last 6 months or so, and there's a lot more AI programs coming out. So if we're not learning and adapting and growing with it, then we're going to get left behind. Competitors are going to take advantage, and we're going to be able to blow you out of the water. So it's very important to constantly, and same thing with marketing. So even stuff that started like marketers used to use 10 years ago doesn't work now. 2 years ago doesn't work now. Even some stuff from a handful like last year don't necessarily work right now. So it's very important to always be learning, as well as you feel more accomplished and you feel better, like when your brain is working, you're not stuck in a routine. So even if you have teammates or employees, you want them to encourage them to learn as well and give them that opportunity to learn new stuff, to get more responsibilities, because it makes them feel better as a person because they get that chance to accomplish and have new skills as well. So what does this have to do with you? Personal relevance, self-reflection on a regular basis. You can do it daily in your journals, if you do brain dump or whatever the case is. Definitely at least once a week minimum and monthly for your overall goals. But it's very important to make sure that you're reflecting on your values, you're reflecting on how you feel about yourself, you're reflecting on the work that you have done and what you potentially could have done better. So I'm not going to say just focus on your weaknesses and try to get better at that, but there's certain things if you want to improve, you want to make sure that you're reflecting on it to be able to analyze it. Self-care for sustained success. Self-care is the key foundation to a lot of stuff. If you can't take care of yourself and you get really emotional and you get really overwhelmed and tired and not able, your mind is feeling very fuzzy, you're not going to be able to do a lot because you're going to be struggling surviving as opposed to having that extra energy to be more creative and innovative and do stuff and show up. And mindful leadership for personal development, self-lead yourself, show up for you, not for somebody else, and learn how to be compassionate for yourself, learn how to be resilient, how to be more productive, how to accept yourself for who you are, be very aware of yourself, your energy, your strength trends, what you moves you, what doesn't move you. A lot of those things will help make it a lot easier for you to lead other people when your business scales. And building blocks for business, momentum maintenance, always check with how your goals are, your visions are, how the team is going. When you have a team, be able to help support them, see what questions or issues that they might have, and just to know if you're on the right track. And adaptive decision making with flexibility. Sorry, that sounds a little awkward. But being able to adapt to decision making and being quick. So sometimes again, when you're aligning with your values, it's a lot easier to pivot. It's a lot easier to be like, hey, this isn't working. You are not aligning your values to be able to get back into what you want. Because you can make the decisions based on like your energy, creativity, innovation, and be able to be more flexible and quick with being able to respond and change. Sometimes a lot of bigger businesses they can't change so quick. So if you're that's one of the cool things with or and continuous learning is a competitive edge. The more faster decisions you can make, whether they're right or wrong, because if they're wrong, you can learn from it, the better you are. So if you have someone that's slower at being able to maneuver, then you changing your like your offer, you changing your tactics in many cases will give you that competitive edge as well. We can being able to learn will help support you too. So for community connection and legacy, fostering community values, if you can pull like-minded people together and have them feel connected and feel like, like I said, the go-getters, action takers, if you can get a group of people that are like that, that will help you because they can feel like they're part and they understand that the people around them knows what they're feeling and thinking and how they are. And it really helps to build that relationships. It helps with them. It really helps with being able to feel connected and build trust. So, but if you not being authentic and true to yourself and then you attract people that are different than you and you put them in the community, it doesn't necessarily work and it's going to feel like lead to a lot of tension, leads to a lot of stress. So we need values you have collecting that into a community and supporting the community and having those people support you will make it a lot better for the people to be able to go through whatever issues or concerns that they need your support for. Building connections through authenticity, very similar to the fostering a community, but it's easier to build your connections and it's easier to connect and feel like you are a part of something when you are doing it your authenticity. So if you value family and you can connect with somebody based on the family, then that's a lot easier. If you can connect with them based on leadership, based on empowerment, based on positivity, abundance, based on teamwork, based on there's a lot of different values, right? I know these lists I've gone through websites that have like hundreds. And if you create a list, like you go through a website, like you are some core values, you'll find the values of the people that you admire and you look up to and that you are inspired to see. And you can follow those ones. And the business aligning core values have a great impact on legal legacy. One second, almost done. Give me 2 minutes. A business aligning with your core values have great impact. So a greater impact. So if you have your core values and you run your business with them and you create your products, you create your services, you create your community, you create your connections with your core values, you're going to have a greater impact on the people and you're going to be able to help them have better transformations, which will then have a legacy that you can leave behind to your future family and have greater impact on your communities. So that is everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for getting to the end. And so if you have, again, it's very surface level related to values, very surface level related to self-love, because a lot of that is personal and unique. One person likes is going to be different from a different somebody else. So it's really important to know what aligns to you specifically. So if you want to reach out, let me know. I hope you guys have an incredible Tuesday, a fantastic time for the rest of